All right, now we're going to compare these two systems that sometimes overlap, and a lot of people have a big misconception of the two. You have exocrine system and you have the endocrine system, okay? So what's the difference between the two? Number one is that the endocrine system makes hormones, right? So chemical messengers that are transported through the blood, versus exocrine systems do not make hormones. They just make secretions, so non-hormones. So I'll explain later what I mean by that. So non-hormones. So what else do they do? So the difference between the two is endocrine system, as I mentioned before, is a ductless system. So if I put this in quote, ductless system, right? So rather than having ducts, it has hormones, right? So it's ductless system, meaning that as soon as the hormones are produced in the endocrine system, they're secreted directly into the blood, right? And so they're not really stored in any real ducts. Vice versa, exocrine system is a duct system, right? So whatever those non-hormonal secretions are, right, certain kind of fluids, sweat, tears, what else? Oils, milk production, all of those are actually stored in these ducts and need to be stimulated in order to cause some kind of release, right? So duct versus ductless. So exocrine is a duct system, endocrine is a ductless system, all right? Let's look at examples now. So I mentioned a couple of the examples. So the exocrine system, so the sweat glands or the sudoriferous glands, right? So you have the sudoriferous or sweat glands. You have the oil glands, the sebaceous. So these are all examples. Let's put an example here. Sebaceous. So what is sebaceous? These are the oil glands, right? So you have lacrimal glands, so tear glands. You know, you have milk glands, so the mammary glands for production of milk. Right, so whenever milk is produced with the hormone that's secreted from the anterior pituitary prolactin, the mammary glands begin a storage reservoir for all the milk, right? Endocrine gland is all of the glands of the endocrine system, right? So all of them have ducts. So if we start from the brain, we can look at the hypothalamus, the pituitary, right? So hypothalamus, the pituitary glands, anterior or posterior, which are either or. Pituitary, right? You have, for example, the thyroid gland. For example, you have the adrenal gland, etc., right? So there's a lot of endocrine glands here present, right? And so the difference, again, is between these two phenomena. One secretes hormone, endocrine secretes hormones, exocrine secretes non-hormones, like secretions, like fluids. Endocrine is a ductless, meaning that every single hormone that's created is secreted directly into your blood, versus exocrine is a duct system where all the fluids that are created are stored in these little duct networks. And that's the comparison between the endocrine system and the exocrine system.